What's up, guys? Welcome back to Esk8exchange, the show where we talk about electric skateboards, the Esk8 industry, MBoards, Esk8Con, really just electric skateboards in general.
Everything.
Yes.
Some would say a plethora of Esk8 stuff.
An abundance.
In the studio, like normal, we've got James
Hi.
and Jacob.
Hello.
The two J's.
The two J's and the M. So
Yep.
hello. Thank you for joining us again this week. We've had a couple breaks. We've had just a series of family issues, family emergencies that we've each having to be tending to. So thankfully for the business, they were offset a week, but for the show, that meant the show just didn't go on for a little bit. So anyways, we've kind of made it through the other side of all of those crazinesses now. So we're back, and we're excited to be, doing the show. So
Yep.
how have you guys' last little bits been?
Life is great.
It's been a couple weeks, bro.
Yeah.
Life's good, but life's also wild.
It isn't
refreshing to be back in a comfortable environment. You know.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I'm excited to do a show again. I don't know. I have a lot of energy today.
Yes, I'm excited. So, like we said last week, we're going to start off with our Esk8 news segment. So we've just got a handful of things that we felt like warranted, some coverage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so to start off, we've got the Evolve Renegade that's now out. Now we're about a week or so behind on the curve, unfortunately.
Yes.
We probably should have talked about this last week, but
We were a
Here
little
it
busy, so sorry, guys.
so supposedly they've been working on this board since
2018?
2017.
2017,
as he
That's
said?
when they flashed a couple pictures and really started looking at this, which makes kind of sense because they did previously work with MBS. They use some of their parts, their hubs, their tires. So
previously, yes.
previously years ago, 10 years plus.
So I think it looks pretty good.
Yep.
What are your initial thoughts of this board?
Like the way it looks. Wish they would have done a different battery configuration, and I do not know how I feel about the springs over the bushings. I don't know how I feel about that idea. But it looks good.
I feel like when
The board looks good.
If you would think about the board that Evolve would make for a mountain board, this is exactly what they would make.
I don't know. That's not what I ended up on.
2 years ago, I would have pictured them making this board.
I would have pictured the way it looked like that, but not the springs over the bushings. I for sure thought that they were just going to bring out some regular bushings, the squared ones.
The springs shocked me for sure.
Mhm.
I was expecting bushings.
I mean, it's dual. Let's
I mean,
be
it's
clear
it's
that
both.
dual.
It is
does have
both. It does have both.
Right.
Still, the Facebook groups have been lighting them up over their 8mm axles on this board,
and the bottom out
which
battery pack.
I want to say rightfully so. I don't think in today's world, it's a good idea to release what they are advertising as a mountain board, a board you can jump with 8mm axles. I do think they're going to have a lot of bending going on.
Probably.
We could be wrong. I don't know, but it just seems like that's probably. Is probably what's going to happen. But we'll see, and that's going to be their issue to warranty. So it is what it is.
Well, we really can't truly knock it until we try it. So
Sure.
until I hop on that board, dude, I'm just going to say it looks cool.
Probably be a while till we see them. I think there was a limited run, and they'll get spotted around the country. But maybe Esk8Con.
Yeah. I assume we'll see them at Esk8Con.
That's what I want. I want to get it on a track and see how it handles.
What we found interesting was the board looked shockingly similar to the Valar. Now, I am not claiming that they copied the Valar because they absolutely did not. They've been working on this board forever, and their 11 or 12 deck prototypes kind of prove that.
Yeah.
It's just naturally the community
gravitates towards that design.
Towards a similar shit comes out and similar.
So many things you can do different.
But they just got us thinking, what are side by side, the Valar, the Onzer Valar versus the Evolve Renegade? What do they kind of look like? What's their... So we kind of
the two main production, right?
Similar
mountain
boards.
You can take out sort of the Trampas, we're going to put them in a whole different category.
Yeah,
right?
that's not the same.
I think at this I think they're the only two on the block at this price point and in the production levels that they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we want to do a side-by-side. So here's our side-by-side. So for the Renegade, we've got 26 miles per hour, which we all know. If you throw some board bumpers, pulleys on there, you can get that thing to
58,
rip.
30 plus.
Woo.
Yeah.
Cooking.
31-mile range, a 12S 4P 50S. Now, this is the stat that I actually predicted incorrectly. I thought for sure it would be either a 12.5 or a 14.4.
Yep.
Did not think they were throwing a 12.4.
The
We
only
both
thing
know
that got me was the 50S, but I didn't think the battery would get any bigger.
The fit, yeah, I did not know which cells they'd go with. I didn't even have a prediction for that, but I figured they'd at least change the configuration.
First time they've
somehow.
named their cells in a while, though, too.
Yes.
Ooh,
They
very
Specifically
true.
mentioned Samsung 50S
Yes.
versus the
Right off the strap.
Leishan, Molly combos they had been using.
Yes, they were doing Leishans and or P42As depending on availability. Last
Right.
time with the Hadian. So originally, when the Hadian came out, it was in the middle of our cell shortage. So we were getting like. There was a time where we were like, we're not going to have cells for years. Like,
Right.
that's what people were saying, which clearly that didn't happen. But when they launched their board, they were like, well, let's find 2 different cells similarly spec'd, which they are very similar. And then we will advertise the worst one.
Yep.
And then if you get the MLSL P42As, bonus. If you get the license, that's what they advertised. And that's what they did. Half of, I don't know what the actual breakdown percentage-wise is, but many people got license, many people got P42As. I think at this point,
We had one with license.
yes,
Yeah.
we had one with license.
And did we notice a performance difference?
No.
No.
Not
I did
really.
not feel no.
Not
No,
really,
I'm
dude.
sure
Well,
the people with
Minus our cutouts.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
that board we got that board.
That was a secondhand board, I think.
Yeah, that board had been through hell.
Yeah.
But my assumption is that anyone with P42As had more range than expected because it does have slightly more range at 4,200 milliamps per cell.
It was
versus-
like 5%.
It's like 5% difference. Or
Yeah, we're talking about like splitting hairs at
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's trivial.
But I think at this point, most boards are coming out with P42As.
But
at
it
this
is
point now.
interesting. Usually, we'd only see the 50Ss in the larger P group style packs.
That is
you
true.
know,
Yes.
just for the overall voltage. So I
Yep.
guess at these they're running max 60 volts. Or
Amps.
sorry, amps.
I don't know for sure. I believe
I don't
the
remember what a 50S was.
I think it's 25 amps, but I
25?
could be
Okay.
wrong.
Gotcha.
But anyways,
I'm
back
sure
to
somebody will
the
comment.
specs.
Yeah, back to the price. Yeah.
So that ends up being to your door, $24.99, like free shipping. That's
And
cool.
free shipping,
No bindings or anything with that.
I think it's
So-
a year warranty or something like that.
Yep. And then on the Onzer side, we've got a 38 mile per hour top speed, which again, if you threw some different pulleys on there, we could get it to go faster.
Yeah.
Not saying we should, but
Yeah,
38
almost-
miles per hour is plenty for me.
That's great.
37 mile range and a 14S 4P 50S pack, which is what I think the Renegade would have come out at.
Mm-hmm.
And that lands at your door at $28.09. So $300 difference.
For what? How many more cells is in that? 8 more
It's
cells?
8 more cells.
Only
8
8
more
cells.
cells.
You have some different specs. I mean, you have 200. You got 8-inch tires versus 7s, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
sort of nominal. But
And we're not sure I don't think we know the KV rating of the Renegade, but we
No.
know the KV rating of the
they're
Valar, and
they're
that's 140s.
It's
We're
the
pretty
same
sure they're
motors they
160s.
hate.
And
They're
we
gonna
know
be
that the
160s.
Valar for sure is 140 KV. So
They're
I mean, there's a
170s.
couple.
So out of these
They
two, which
no,
one
140s.
Oh, okay.
which one are y'all picking if you had to pick? If the endurance wasn't an option,
The Renegade with bindings.
picking the Renegade. Okay,
Mhm.
yes, because then with bindings you can get up to you would be back at the
Mhm.
Valar.
I would need bindings. A mountain board for me has to have a binding or bindings.
Okay.
I'm biased just because I rode the Valar. And
Mhm.
I really just didn't like the deck concave.
Okay.
It was so the deck is super stiff. I mean it's rated
Yeah.
for like a 350-pound dude or something. And
Mhm.
it doesn't move. when
It
you're
doesn't
on
bend.
Right.
But like, it's got that very Cali-esque negative kind of
Curve.
concave, I guess. You can
It's
call it
supposed to
negative curve.
flatten out when you stand
Right,
on it.
but dude,
Yeah.
it makes me feel like I'm breaking my ankles.
If it makes
Like,
me feel like I'm riding on top of a
I
barrel.
have to
50
turn my
50
feet
gallon
in a
barrel.
way that
So you-
just takes that pressure off. And I wasn't.
Yeah.
You're
And it's
picking
not-
the Renegade too, then.
I mean-
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It sounds like
I
it.
guess.
I think I think I would
so.
also pick the Renegade.
Are we
over it.
renegading with the Renegade right now?
My problem with boards like these too is they're all too short.
Yes.
They're always too short. The Valar is too short. The Raldi B was too short.
We're definitely keeping an eye on this segment of the market because I do believe that we're can
starting
have
to
a good stab at this
Mhm.
one. Because I think there's a lot of room there. I think people want a board like this style. We'll call it a segment. Like right, it's a lighter mountain board, not
it's like
crazy
a hybrid.
DIY.
It's a hybrid. Can we call them hybrids?
Okay.
This is a hybrid mountain
I think
board.
because it's a 2-in-1 still.
It's still you can still operate this as a 2-in-1. You don't have the top mounted box. You know, you don't
Right.
have your top mounted enclosure like ESCs.
It's certainly
a clean package.
It's to go for. I feel like for many people to go from a regular electric skateboard to a top mount battery box, top mount ESC box. Like that's a big transition for people. People don't want to do that. So
bindings are intimidating.
Yeah, well,
right.
John Davies' board. Remember when we hop on John Davies' board? We're like, oh shit, dude, it's intimidating for 10 minutes, bro.
Yeah. So I think this is a great halfway step for someone, or maybe not halfway step. Maybe this is where they finally land. But I do think that this segment's interesting. It's something I would like to take a look at. Not necessarily saying we're gonna make a board like in this segment, but I do think it's worth keeping an eye on the market, seeing what's going on.
We have one on the shelf right now. We have a
We
Haro.
do.
We've got a Haro deck, a Bro deck with a bottom mount enclosure on belt drives and 7-inch tires.
We do.
It's $1,900.
Right.
Right. Like these are 26, 25, 2,800. You're buying the name. You're buying some other things. But like, if you wanted a hybrid, it's this market. This segment still says actually DIY is cheaper. It's one of the few areas that this segment DIY is
and
better.
that's why I think that's the only thing that's pulling me to this segment, because I know we could blow those pricing out of the water.
We're doing it right now, and we're buying from other companies. You know, we don't even develop our own parts.
Like if we were to actually develop all of our own parts, make a lot of them, we would be able to get a board like that out for
with bigger battery, with more performance.
$1,900 with a bigger battery.
12.6, 14.4, 14.6.
Right.
Like the options would be
right.
Yeah,
so anyways, that was very interesting.
Keep an
next
eye
on our
out
list, James, I'll let you take this one.
Oh, we got the release of the OneWheel GTS.
I'm gonna take a nap, guys.
Right? We're just gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it quick. I mean, this is an Esk8 channel. OneWheels are like adjacent to Esk8. They're not, but they are. But I mean, still, this is. I got to ride it. The OneWheel racing team came into town at Wheels and Rides. They had a couple of them there, and so I got to jump on it. It is. Is it faster than a GT? A little bit, but you're really paying for that. The ability to ride at a higher speed without pushback.
Got it.
So when you ride the GT, 22 miles an hour pushback, and it's
this
hard.
Is like a racing one.
Yeah, this pushback didn't kick in for me till 27 miles per hour, and it wasn't even that harsh, bro. Like I hit 30 before pushback was really up, and I was like, "All right, bro, we are cooking right now."
Did you see the price of this thing?
$3,200 before shipping and
how
taxes,
does that compare to the regular GT?
The GT is $2,200.
Well, $1,000.
Yeah.
No way. It's $1,000. It's a full $1,000 more.
Almost. Don't quote me on that. I almost want to like pull it up.
That's all right. Roughly $1,000.
Yeah, we'll say
wow.
$850 to $1,000 difference. And there's less cells in the GTS. It's a 27S 1P, where the GT
that's insane.
Was a 18S 2P.
Well over 100 volts.
It's 113 volts.
Yeah.
It is like a 30%.
Plug that shit right into your wall.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so it has potential to go really fast, bro. That's a lot of voltage for one wheel. You can for sure hit 45 miles an hour. So,
is this thing Veskable?
Yeah, for sure.
Whoa.
A couple people are already working on it.
What Vesk is it going to be?
They got the Tronic that's out.
Oh, God.
That's going to add.
This is a $5,000 one wheel.
Yeah, we're talking about a very expensive.
Actually, it really would be.
The motor controller is almost $1,000.
Yeah, very fast, very expensive. This is the big dog type shit. So, like, this is... It's just outrageous. I rode it. It's cool. I would never pay that much money for a one wheel. My wife would kill me, and you guys would probably never stop laughing at me. So, on to our next part.
I've always said, dude, to each your own. It keeps your skill level. You have a different set of skills than we do.
Bro, I can build that.
I'm jealous when you.
I can build that one wheel for $1,500. I'll build you a GTS Slayer for $1,500.
Yeah,
that's wild, though. I mean, look, this is ultimately though what. It's a little off topic, but this is what racing does.
Right.
Racing pushes
innovation,
the limits,
bro. 100%.
And it makes, it pushes where we say, well, we know this is capable. So the companies, they say, yeah, okay, we'll do it, blah, blah,
and it's certainly not going to be a high volume product for them.
Competition is great, bro.
Ultimately, this is going to push somebody to now take that GTS, Vesk it, make it even faster, make it even better. Right. So
yeah,
it's just going to get crazier.
It's pretty cool. Competition is good. I love to see it.
Yeah.
So, moving on to our next topic. I know we don't want to give one wheel too much, coverage, but Jacob found. Well, I don't know who found it, but Jacob brought it to my attention. It's a prototype from Orangatang.
What is that, Jacob? What do you know?
So it just popped up on the old Instagram.
Very interesting.
It looks small.
I don't know. I'm thinking 97.
I think it's a 97.
I think it's a 97.
And that's the size that personally, that's the size that I wanted. Like,
so these are
what are the size of those squares? 5mm squares?
These are
or?
Orangatang prototypes, and this was like a collab with a guy named Ethan Cochard. I believe he's like a main content creator for Loaded. He's got a shit ton of stuff about Loaded on his page. Incredible writer, and so it looks like he's working on something. Now, the core does look a little
it's interesting,
different.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100%. This guy's never really done video on anything electric either.
Okay.
So it would be interesting to see if that's, really what these are for, or if these are just,
It'd be interesting to see if our regular pulleys would actually fit in that.
And
and if they
at this
don't,
point, it's just a clear wheel. But I think anytime we see something from Orangatang pop up, we kind of, we're going to jump on it.
We like their wheels.
But so interesting to see. So far, this is just the teaser. Actually, if we have any engineer, anybody smart, that grid pattern to tell us what size these wheels
I was
are.
trying to do the math, and I
just don't know how big the grids are.
So I wonder if that's like a stat.
I mean, if the
some
grids
sort of standard pad or something. But if anybody recognizes this and can decipher what the size of this wheel might be.
Well, if we it's 10 spaces tall. I mean, and if those are 10 mil spaces, that's
that's
actually a 97.
That's a 97. I bet you anything that's a 97.
Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know about a 97. Dancing with I feel like, why else would you throw a core like that on there?
Right.
Maybe a modified pulley. Maybe the pulleys actually fit, and we don't realize with that shape, but it looks a little funky.
Right.
Looks different. There's something going on. There's some razzle dazzle happening.
Well,
there.
I felt like that was like the natural progression. I felt like we had the Kegel 80s, Kagwama 85s.
Was it 85? Yeah.
85s. Then I thought we would go with a 97.
They teased a 95 once.
A 95.
There was like a 95 that popped up a couple years ago, and we were all like,
oh,
what are those? But then
they never happened.
They came out with the 105s.
Yeah.
So then the 105s happened, which are cool.
The dad bods are nice.
The dad bods are nice, but I think they were late to the game because I think anybody who would have bought those bought the Mad Wheels.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and they their price, they're a little high.
Yeah,
they're just a little high for
$150. It's a little high.
They have the name, which is great, and so I think
and their formula is really good.
It is good.
So I shouldn't even say that.
But if you put me on a board that's got dad bods and a board that has Mad Wheels, I will choose the Mad Wheels any day.
I do think $150 is the appropriate price for those. I think, but just $150 is just a lot of money for anyone to spend on any set of wheels. Doesn't matter how good they are; they could be made out of gold.
There's certain price points.
It's just. Someone's not going to be willing to shell out $150 for any wheel.
Forever, then
they do, and
one of those
problem is people don't think about that.
Sure, we don't know what a longevity of a Mad Wheel is at this point. They've only been around a year.
If a set of tires will last you 2,000 miles but cost you 4 times as much, then a tire that will only last you a sixth of the time, people still won't take. It's a better ROI, but people don't do that math and they don't buy it.
It's what they have in their pocket right now.
I wonder how many miles. I wonder how many miles Tony has on his dad bods that he rides on his endurance. Because he's got like 15 boards, and I'm pretty sure he's got a set of dad.
He changes his wheels so often.
Well, Tony, if you're watching, dude, chime in real quick. Like, what do you got? What's going on?
Do we ship a board with dad bonds? We've got.
We did. We have an endurance out there with dad bods.
Who's got some dad bods? Let us know how they hold up longevity wise.
How have they been? They've kind of like
chunk.
They came out and
there was a ton of like traction as soon as they released, and we haven't really heard anything from them in a while.
So I wonder if this is one of those things where it's like no news is good news. Like when you go take a
That's true.
STD test and they say no news is good news. Like all right, cool. Is this like the same shit?
Dad bods don't have STDs?
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't know. I've never had to go take one of those tests, but anyway.
Were we going to talk about the other wheels too? Did you have that for a later segment?
Okay. Well, no, we could talk about that now though.
Okay.
Like we were just talking about wheels, and then the topic of the mad wheels. People bought the mad wheels instead of the dad bods or whatever because the dad bods just came late and they were just a little late to the party. I think they had good intentions,
timing,
but also Orangatang just doesn't just like push shit out and like, well, we'll see what happens.
No, if it releases, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good, right? And that's why they never did anything like the dad bods. They didn't do them in blue because I don't think that it would work. I think they would chunk too bad, so they just. Here's orange. I think orange is their most stable formula. That's what they did.
It's great.
I just have a big problem with. I've seen a couple posts about the new cloud wheels, which I don't have a picture of them, unfortunately.
I don't even remember what they were called now.
God, what are they called? Can you try to do your best,
Jamie?
Jamie, find them. And if you can airdrop it to me, I can show it quickly on the podcast. We can airdrop it.
Gotcha.
But I saw a post and it bothered me because these new cloud wheels, they've got the same, like,
it's an airless rubber. They look like the black 115 airless rubbers.
Kind of.
It's got the same tread pattern, and it's got the same holes on the inside.
And it's got the core looks the same as the original, like, boosted 105s or Mad Wheels.
Solid corner sort of look.
But the issue I have is that this post that I saw was claiming that they were just copying Mad Wheels, and I don't really like that, because Mad Wheels just copied boosted.
Right.
But I don't like the word copying, right?
It's imitation.
I think Mad Wheels adopted an existing mold and revived it from what it was. But why?
We had a word for it earlier. What was
adopting?
What was it adopting?
It's when you see some. It's like, to me, it's like this. The industry is so quick to say, you copied this, you copied that, you copied that. It's like, no, dude. It's like there's only so many ways to skin a cat sometimes, and like,
right?
Really,
that's a good way to say it.
Like, what are our other options? Like, yeah, they could have made the core look a little bit different, right? But Cloud Wheels, to me, has the same right to rip off the boosted wheels than that Mad Wheels did.
Incoming
also
picture.
An ABEC core. So
it's an ABEC core, which all the ABEC cores, guess what, are ripped off of the actual brand ABEC, right? So it's like,
right, we call it an ABEC core, and that's really the company that
so it's like we're so quick to say we copied this, we copied that. Oh, sorry, you're trying to.
Yeah, I didn't want to interject in your guys' good points that you were saying, but you have incoming pictures.
Cool.
And I got a different color, a couple different colors on this one instead of.
I'm pulling it up right now. Okay. And this is a quick screenshot, but here it is. So they are. That's what they look. I mean, that's a good representation of I feel like what they look like.
Yeah, they come in black.
They come in black, right? And I think
purple.
the black ones is where what gets the
most attention,
the emotion of the copy of the Mad Wheels.
Okay,
right?
so not exactly like the airless, but close, right?
It's
same tread design, different
well, if you look at the core and to the shoulders and everything coming out, like that's where it looks like a Mad Wheel. Yeah. But it also looks like a boosted. It also looks like Meepo's version. Like
I think the main area that looks like that looks like a Mad Wheel is the center core. There's just they didn't push the holes all the way through, and it's white.
I mean, I don't like the white, but I like that it's clean. It makes it look like
I agree. I actually would prefer not to see the spokes. I think I think it looks better. Mm-hmm. But to claim that this is a copy of a Mad Wheel is just, to me, silly when it's all based off of a boosted.
It's all a little bit of a stretch.
So it's just I just feel like it's not very fair. Yeah. But it is what it is, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't done a gear drive yet.
Right.
Because it's like, what are our options?
And I talked about this. C, bro. I talked about this. Already done it.
I talked about this in the Discord server the other day. Is what are our options? We either have a 2-gear setup, a 3-gear setup, or a 4-gear setup. Mm-hmm. To me, I don't think 2-gear setups work that well in a street format, because I think the motors sit too close to the hanger. So let's go 3-gear. We can't do 3-gear because apparently Super Beast has those patented. Can't do 3-gear. Okay, let's do 4-gear. Okay, now we're copying Newbie or Omni, which Omni probably I'm sure got shit for copying Newbie originally.
Right.
So now it's like, what can we do?
Boardamics has a 2-gear.
Right, and if I do 2-gear, am I copying Boardamics? Right. No, I don't think so.
Stooge does direct, and Stooge doesn't call his a gear drive. He just calls it direct.
They're just open gear.
Direct. So it's like, at what point
do we need to do gear drive?
So I do think that's like naturally a solid step for us is to come out with our own gear drive. But it's just like, that's just one of the reasons why we just haven't done it. Because it's like, I don't even, not that I really give a shit if someone says, oh my God, you copy this, copy that, because we've taken many ideas from many areas, and usually what I usually like to do is I go, what are the existing products out there? What works? Like, why go through and prototype something brand new if it's just gonna be worse than everything else? So like, take everything that works, combine all the best things into one
adaptation,
and and I just think the industry is so quick to like just hop on somebody for copying, and it just drives me nuts.
Well, because there was a whole newbie dilemma with, they had copied
and to me at this point, like, and I no disrespect to Mo, because his trucks are really cool, but it's been a long time.
You should have patented them a while ago.
At a certain time, at a certain point, it was a great
idea, dude.
Like, whoever invented RKP trucks.
Well, I mean, we can dig into that. We know.
I don't know. I haven't done the research, but at a certain point, that was brand new. Or the TKP trucks or DKP trucks. Eventually, those were brand new. And then other companies said, yeah, let's make it. Like, then it just became a style of truck.
Who invented the pickup? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Who
so
put
then
the bed on the car
so
first?
To
and then
me,
after that,
I feel like it's been so long for the Stooge trucks. It's not like he just came out with this 2 years ago or a year ago, right? It's been at least 5, 6, 7 years.
Mo is also working with Matt Esk8 to develop their little collaboration of a 3-link, and that's what's cool.
At this point, my opinion is I just think 3-links are just going to become a type of truck.
Yeah, we're gonna see them a lot more.
And it is what it is. Like I don't know how you can be that upset about it at this point. It's been a long time. No patents were filed. Now, I'm not a fan of patenting. I feel
MIPO filed a patent for 3-links in China.
They file everything.
That doesn't matter though. Who cares? Like a Chinese patent isn't going to affect us at all, and that's not even going to affect them over there. They're all going to rip each other off anyway. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, would it stop them though from manufacturing there?
I don't personally. I don't think so. Okay. Like at the level we're playing at, that they're playing at in the Esk8 world, I don't think so. Like maybe in some high tech space, sure.
Because if that was truly the case, Evolve would have put the kibosh on a lot of things.
Right.
Right. And
right.
This whole conversation has been had
a dozen times with all these patents.
And it started years and years and years and years.
Seems like
years
there's
ago
always some shit popping up.
With the Evolve /MaxFine/Max. There were a few boards that popped up and it was like, it's
like
literally just like it. It's just like a GTR.
And this is something that I feel like is an interesting topic. Like everybody got really mad when I'm also was not very happy to hear that when Evolve patented like their carbon deck, right? I just am not a fan of patents in general. Like I feel like the better bet, because patents are expensive, $50,000 to patent something. I think it's way better to spend $50,000 on inventory and just be first to market and do it really well, flood the market with all your stuff, get ahead of it, get that brand loyalty, and then guess what? When someone rips you off, who cares?
Super 73 is not stopping any of these bike manufacturers from copying them.
No, it
they
doesn't
just make
matter.
More of them, they get more involved, so now they're a household brand.
That's a good point.
That's just my rant of like we're just so quick to like claim that people are copying everybody, and it's just like I don't know, dude, like I don't know. Like it just seems a little.
What do they say?
crazy.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah. And I just obviously if you're working on something and it's not even out yet and it gets leaked and then someone copies it and pulls it out from under you, that's fucked up, honestly. But if it's been out for years, I just don't know. That's happened.
We talked about Cloud Wheel in the
Cloud
very
Wheels
beginning
and
of
the
how I believed and how it seemed that it all went down with Slick Revolution.
Yes.
And so
that I think was a rug pull.
They pulled
that
it
one
right
was a
out
rug
from
pull.
under them.
That one for sure.
And that's another reason why I'm not a super big fan of Cloud Wheels in general.
And
however, I don't think they're in the wrong here making this new wheel.
Nah.
They can make it.
No, they're all right.
They've seen that the industry has wanted a large 100+ millimeter wide grippy wheel,
and there's some tread on it.
They should make it.
And it's in purple and
Slick
blue.
Revolution, and I bet 90% of people
don't even know what you're talking about.
And the conversation should be the same about boosted. Get off of the boosted train. They're gone.
Right.
They're not producing anything else. Nobody's copying shit.
Right.
It's adaptation.
And I fucking wrote a boosted board.
Did something good. Right. So like how many copies have we seen along the way? Like just get off of it.
It's super obnoxious. So anyways,
get off of it.
Rant over, I suppose. Yes. And let's move on to some MBoards updates.
There we go.
These updates are good.
Yes.
We're going to show you guys.
Are you guys ready?
The new trucks.
There they are. This is the time, bro. Everybody's been asking.
Make sure you have your mood lights.
I have been fucking bugging Mike to show these things off, bro.
Are you ready?
I'm so proud that he made these
Should I push the button?
Yeah, push the button, bro.
Boom.
Ooh.
So here's a couple of the pictures. So these are RKPs adjustable. You have a 33-degree option, a 44-degree option, a 55-degree option. I'm not sure that many people will use 55, but if you're looking for really, really carvy, you got it. Although we've been riding on the 33s, and they are still quite carvy.
Yeah, we went 33, 33, and it was very carvy.
Very
I like
good.
33, 44. That's like my, give me the 77, bro.
Yep. So they are, the hangers themselves, I'm trying to explain this because people get, it's a 9-inch hanger, but that's not the actual hanger width, right? The physical,
not the total width.
Not the total width, right? So now we've got there's a little section of the axle that expands it another 1/2 inch. Then we throw in a few spacers, which expands it all the way out another 2 inch or something. So end to end in between, what do we say? It's like actually end to end's like 15 inches. It's wide.
Yeah, you can fit 100 millimeter motors. Or 100 what? Not 100 millimeter motors, but 100.
You can.
100 millimeter motors, bro.
Yeah. So anyways, so that's That's another shot of these. You know, here's something that is so we've adopted a couple things from a couple different truck manufacturers because we picked things that we really liked and we did it.
That we thought worked well.
So here's an example of something that I believe that I am the first one to do. Okay. So as you'll see on this motor, now again, at any point, somebody could copy this. If you'd like to adopt it, go ahead. Sure. At this point, I'm not going to be pissed off if you do it.
Or if you found this somewhere else and we didn't find it.
Yeah, honestly, like I genuinely do not believe I've seen this anywhere else. I've seen versions of this, but not this exact way, right? So, on the motor mount, you'll see a whole bunch of little pinholes. There's 2 millimeter
little holes,
2 millimeter pinholes. On the other side of our collar there on the top left is there'll be steel. It's the wrong way, unfortunately, on this picture. But there are pinholes that we have press fit 3 2 millimeter diameter steel pins into, dowel pins, and they locate on the motor pulleys. So I'm not sure what we're calling this yet. Like I don't know.
Oh, we have to name it?
Pin technology. We have to name
pin
it.
Tech.
Pin
Tech
tech
brought to you by MBoards.
Right? So you'll use
the TEK, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
And then what do those pins do?
So now those pins will locate on the motor mount, and you can adjust the motor mount in every 11 degrees or something. Mm-hmm. And what that does, which this is something we've had issues with our current mounts, is when the mounts get loose, they start when you hit the accelerator and hit the brake, they start to jitter. And they get looser and looser, and they smack over and over and over again until you literally will break your mount. Mm-hmm. If you don't keep them tight, and this happens on, dozens of boards.
Lots of other brands.
It happens. So these pins, what happens is if your screws are loose, it will stay solid in its position and it will not move. Obviously, if you lose your screws, the mount can fall off, right? But if they're there and they're just
found
loose,
that it actually will still hold it,
pretty
because
good.
you still have all of your assembly. So
that's
the good news is the rotation stops.
Right.
You'll just probably start to notice some maybe a noise or something. But realistically, those 3 little tiny freaking pins.
Yep.
Well, I bet we could set one up and run it. And
you CNC'd them to the thousandths of the inch of that pin to fit in. So it's like it doesn't go in. Like you have to put it in and then press
for example,
it in,
like the pin holes on the motor mount are 2 millimeters diameter.
Yes.
The holes on the collar are 1.9 millimeter diameter, and then our pin is a slightly undersized 2 millimeter pin that's still bigger than the collar holes. So they press fit in. Once they're in, you ain't getting them out. Let me tell you that. And the great thing about that is they're load bearing ish, but they're not fully. Like your screws and your hardware still bears 99% of the load. It's there for a fail safe and for easy setup
adjustability,
right? Because if those pins weren't there and we did here's an example, you can see the motor mount's got the rounded slots where you'd have infinite adjustability. The moment those got loose, though, they would immediately drop and they'd slide all around. So that's what the pins are there for, to prevent that from happening. So far it's been great.
Love it.
They're so solid. So I'm really excited about that. Here's an example of what they look like.
Ooh, with the backside, bro. Check that trunk.
Oh, sorry. I got to show the people. Here you go. Yeah, I had to actually hit the button.
Oh, you hit the button, dude. There it is.
They look really nice. And this is the raw version. So we're going to do raw, and then we'll do at least black anodizing. I'm sure we'll do colors eventually once we have a big setup.
I'm pressing for gold, bro.
I want to do a Golden Knights build with gold trucks and gold everything. We'll do that. But yeah, so this is what they look like in the back, and to me they just look so nice.
It looks good. It's clean.
Here's the front. Now here's my example. Here's a great example of how that 9-inch hanger is not really 9 inches. So a handful of things we still have to nail down.
Yep.
Is we still need a custom, properly length spacer. Right now we have a bunch of stacked spacers that move our wheel to our final
destination.
Width. And why do we do that? Well, that's just because ultimate wheel freedom, right? Because if you have a wheel that's wider, or you want to use wider hubs, you can. No problem. By the way, they are 10 millimeter hardened stainless steel, 17.4 steel.
Fucking good luck bending these.
So they're not going to bend.
Yeah. You could hit somebody with these and they would be fine.
So
not the person, but the truck.
Here's a good example of how they are adjustable as well. So I've seen adjustable trucks very similar to this. However, they had slots.
Okay.
I didn't like the slots. I felt like over time they would move. Like the weight of them as you were riding, the trucks would slowly drift to the area of least resistance, right? You'd slowly, like your angle would slowly drop.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of doing slots, we did 3 preset holes, 33, 44, 55. Now that does mean that the bolts have to come out to adjust. You can't just loosen them and turn it.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I would rather just be locked in
because
most people, once they have it set, they're not making changes on the fly.
I did an adjustment yesterday on it, and it takes 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quick.
So
fast.
Is it as convenient as the slots? No, but how many people are making adjustments on the fly all the time? I would say nobody.
Once you get locked in, you're locked in, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking adjustments where, you're just winging it. What is
right.
you know one end is the middle, or like let's say on an adjustable, if it has that what's the word I'm trying to think of? It has like the slot, right? You really don't know what your angle is. You're just kind of going for it.
Right. So anyway, that's a good up close view of them. We're still dialing in our bushings as well. We're gonna get with Brad and he'll recommend some better bushings. He sent us a whole sample pack, and we've kind of just been throwing them in.
They're everywhere,
willy nilly. But we really need to figure out exactly which hardnesses, which shapes we want to go with.
Yeah, if you guys have any recommendations, for sure, chuck them in the comments, because we are brand new to this. I mean, Brad's going to for sure school us on what his word will
We're at the point
gospel,
where we do not pick bushings.
No, we don't know.
We defer to Brad. He says, buy these, and we say, okay.
We ride it, we check it off the list.
Yeah. As long as we ride it, we go, yeah, this feels good. He knows everything. That's what he does. So there's no point in us making decisions.
There is science to this. It's not just like, we're gonna try every bushing he has and see what. No, we don't have time for that. There's science that he can narrow it down to.
We would rather send him
selection.
Yeah, we'd rather send him a board and say, listen, this is what we would like. Can you make this? And then he does it. And
I think he likes that part too.
We got to talk about pricing for these.
Okay, let's go ahead.
I believe the pricing is going to be $299.
Oh, that's a nice price
for
mounts,
everything with the Pintech
by MBoards,
bushings from Riptide,
all
pivot
kinds
cups
of crazy
from Riptide,
spacers. So
bunch of different spacers, hardware kit, like collars, the mount, everything, ready to rock.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's if you consider
custom color cost you $100
for now.
At
Yes,
least.
I think if it's custom color,
that's our anodizing fees.
Custom color, yeah, we could do custom colors. I know for sure once we get these really rolling, we'll go and do batches when we can fill an entire rack up. The issue is we just have to fill an entire rack,
right?
And then they'll make them any color we want. But an entire rack is $150, and plus whatever, and then you got to get 24 sets of trucks on there, and it's just a lot. So we just have to get enough trucks going where we can just offer them at the same price, because I don't want to sell if you want blue they're 200,
sure,
they're 340 or something. They just need to all be the same price all the time.
I like that.
But the raw does look really good.
It looks so good, bro. It gets like a bling when the sun hits.
Yeah, riding them in the sun,
cool.
They're so nice. So
nice.
raw is really nice. So the two things that we have to get figured out: bushings need to get actually dialed in with Brad, and we need to get our custom spacers, which I found a company in the U.S. that can make our spacers. So we're gonna get those rocking, and then our kingpins we're working on as well. But I found another option for kingpins because I didn't want to put shitty kingpins in there, so we found grade 8, and I think the tensile strength of these are 140,000 pounds or something.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
They shouldn't break, bro.
No, but we didn't want to do grade 5s or anything because I have seen those break in the past, and those are only 70,000 pounds, which is insane. Tensile strength of 70,000 pounds. And now that's tensile strength that's being pulled apart.
Yeah,
we're talking shear strength, which is totally different. So, still though. Over time, they do break. I guess I can't say that a grade 8 will never break. If you ride these for 5 years, they might break one day.
Yep.
Maybe replace them every year. I mean, they're only a couple bucks, but no, we want to get really nice kingpins, so that's the delay there. But these will be out by, I would say, Black Friday at this point.
They'll be ready. You can buy them.
So I'm excited about that.
And these are still on V1 endurance. So
this is a V1 endurance.
We have modified the deck. We will a little bit just for a little bit of clearance for anybody looking like these are close. I can tell you right now at that setting, they do not touch.
Yeah.
Yes.
You cannot get it to touch.
Nope. No deck bite.
Yep.
No decky bite.
Yep. So it does look close, but we did the math.
And tested.
Dude, you guys should see some of the prototypes we made. We made a hanger that was not 9 inches long, but 12 inches long.
Yeah,
Like,
that son of a bitch was so long.
Pre-axle, bro. So we
long.
throw this thing on the deck, and we were like,
what happened?
this thing looks like a fucking monster
What
truck.
did we do?
Not right.
Yeah.
It looks awful. Like, it's just so wide because it ended up being like 16 or 17 inches wide.
Bulldog
It
out,
was
bro.
just like on this endurance deck looks so dumb.
Yeah.
So anyway, we kept shrinking until we got wheel bite, brought it back up. So
it looked like a Mario Kart buggy.
I think it took us
Right.
3 or 4 different iterations just with the width to finally get it. Okay, we like this.
And then once you got that figured out, then you had to go cut a bunch of holes in metal to hold the shit, to cut the shit, to make the shit, dude.
But as these go,
you know, CNC some stuff. It'll be easy, they said.
So we've picked what we want to use on the endurance, but that's not our limiting option. Also, we will also offer these in a longer, wider.
Yes. So for now,
in time.
For now, we're ramping up these, and then once we go, all right, we got this nailed down. All we have to do is not. I say all we have to do, but we would end up making 3 more or 4 more fixture plates for any additional lengths.
Yep.
So if we want to go wider for any bigger boards, we totally can. By the way, this is the set of trucks that will be shipping with the Interstellar when that comes out.
Yep.
Also, Interstellar 2.0 comes out on the Black Friday.
Yep.
So we will discuss specs and everything next week.
That's gonna be fun.
Hopefully pictures by then, but we will see. We're still waiting on.
Wait for a couple things.
We're still waiting on our actual batch of decks. We've got prototype decks, but they don't look how they're supposed to look.
Yeah.
So we may not have pictures yet.
We got to do our last little design stuff too.
So speaking of Black Friday, we were just talking like, why?
Why do you guys start Black
Friday
3
sales
weeks
started
early?
so early.
This one drives me nuts. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know I've already said it.
You will rant
just,
about it.
It will continue to drive me batshit crazy for the next 2 weeks.
Why do you guys start Black Friday 3 weeks early?
So stupid.
Like I know as a business person, we're probably like missing out on some sales because people are going to go and shop the early Black Friday, and then they're just going to already have a board. They're not going to buy it from us. But like it's just like Black Friday, we start it on Friday and we go through Cyber Monday. So there's 4 days. It's already a 4-day long weekend worth of sales. I just don't get having it the entire month of November. Like, and then also, because I know some of these companies, it's the entire month of November. Like the urgency is gone now.
Gone.
So it's like, maybe I'll buy that, maybe I won't. They have a whole month to decide, and they go, never mind.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Because they're waiting for another sale to pop up.
Right.
Yeah,
Literally, all they're doing is they're putting your shit in the cart, and they're going to sit on it for 3 freaking weeks and wait for somebody else to announce something better. And as soon as it happens, they're gone.
Yep. So Black Friday for us will be at midnight Eastern time on Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Black Friday. So which is if you're on the West Coast, you technically get it Thanksgiving at 9 p.m.
You're
lucky. Or if you're in Hawaii, like they can do this time zone game all day.
Yeah.
But a couple other quick things. The VX4 has been updated.
It has.
The Flipski updated the VX4. All of our remotes have officially shipped now with the new firmware, which is cool.
If you guys don't know how to do the update, you have to update the remote and the receiver, and you just go to YouTube and YouTube VX4 update.
I forgot about the receiver update. So when we got our latest shipment of VX4s, I pull one out. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I mean, connected to my board. Doesn't pair. I'm like, what the? Get another remote. Doesn't pair. I'm like, all these remotes aren't like, are they all fucked? And then James is like, yeah, but you have to update the receiver. I'm like,
that's the old receiver, bro.
Oh,
we gotta put the new one in.
Yeah, of course. So I'm like, thank God. Well, if not me, I'm thinking I bought 100 like lemon remotes. I'm like, oh God, that sucks. But no, we're good. Yeah,
the new remotes are cool. I like the update. It gives you a couple of other features. You get some joystick deadband adjustment. A couple you get other temperatures and voltages and wattages and all sorts of
they just like opened up their
they opened it up a little bit, which is nice. I like to be able to see what my ESC temperature is and my motor temperatures are. Voltage, I don't give a fuck about. Either I'm going or I'm not. But.
Right. Yep. So another quick thing or a quick update, I suppose. We don't have any pictures for this one, but we will talk about it more probably next week.
Yeah, they should be on the. They might be on the website by Saturday.
Okay, they may be on our website, so check that out.
At least on Instagram.
We've got a ZFG collab going.
Yeah,
I'm excited about this.
So he made Michael out of Australia. Built some very, very cool mountain boards, and we're assisting him in tackling the U.S. market.
Yep.
That's right.
So if you're interested in any of his work, it'll be on our website. So now we'll have a very good variety. Jacob was talking about it today, dude. We've got the Hero Bro stuff. We've got Flow State. We've got Kind boards. Now we'll have ZFG. We'll have our own in-house brand. It's starting to be a lot.
You can almost get any style of board at our website.
Yep. Now, the only thing we're missing is a good mini, but you know, it is what it is. I just feel like that market's really tough.
Dude,
there is one that I would be interested in. I may have to buzz him just to see if it's. I don't want to talk about it now, but there is one that I've seen a few times. I'm like, that thing might be kind of cool, but it's to be seen.
Interesting. And then James, you had something about Intro to Speed.
Oh yeah, so Intro to Speed. We've been noticing that it's getting kind of bigger. It's starting to pop up in other states and everything like that, and which is really good. We had Intro to Speed. Joe runs it here. We had the Cali dudes actually come in and they blessed the whole opening of it. And there's rules to Intro to Speed and everything. And I just really hope that everybody that's running these Intro to Speeds are getting in contact with the Cali guys. Find Mario. Find Fessy find Rux. You know what I mean? You can find these guys on Instagram, on Facebook, and make sure, I don't want to say that it's sanctioned or anything, but there's a safe way to go about it. It's not just putting cones on and racing. You know,
don't take advantage of the intro. You know, don't take
advantage of the name.
These are really good dudes that really want to see, you know, not just the sport evolve, but just people's skills, and give them an environment that they can go and, you know, do what they want, hang out with their buddies for a few hours, and it's not just a big group ride. So. You know, you can get involved. You can reach out on their official pages and just tell them, hey, guys, we want to do this. You know, if you have any pointers, whatever. I think at this point, anybody can throw cones down on a track. But, you know, when it's you start throwing their names around and stuff, just it doesn't hurt to get the blessing, maybe.
Yeah. I think a lot of the groups who have...
You're not so much asking for permission, but you're asking, be like, hey, do I have your blessing? We want to do it right. We want to use your name. You know what I mean? Like, are you cool with that?
That's where the community still keeps, you know, where we can keep it together. Like, we can't keep just pulling each other apart. So anyways...
All right, I think this is a good
safety tip of the week.
Yes, I think this is going to be a good segment that we're going to start doing every week, or maybe not every week, but weeks when we have a good
incorporate it into the show more.
So we've had a couple questions recently where people have batteries that are about a year, maybe 2 years old. So whatever happens, one of their P groups is dead, right? And their question is, well, can I just replace the P group? And our answer
sounds simple.
Sounds like
it sounds like you could do it
physically. Yes, you can.
Sure. Scientifically,
no, you cannot. And here's why. So let's discuss it. So if you don't know how batteries work, I mean, we all know how batteries work, but like, for example,
quick breakdown,
4P. You take a 12S 4P, right? You've got 12 groups, 12 groups of 4 cells, right? So it's 12, and each of those are in series. So you have 12 cells in series. Each cell is a grouping of 4P, right? So maybe I said that kind of backwards, but whatever.
You complicated it a little
bit. Doesn't
matter.
Every time you drain your battery and you charge it again, that's one cycle life, right? Every type of cell, whether it's P42A or a 50S or whatever it is, they are rated for a certain number of cycle lives. After a certain amount, you'll start to see battery degradation. Battery degradation starts immediately, right? Right away, immediately.
Like Tesla says your most is going to happen in the first year. Like you get
and you'll degrade to like 80%.
But I'm saying like 85%. On day one, you might degrade by 0.001%, right? Every single time. It's not like, oh, your 400th charge, boom, we're down 20%. It's a slow, gradual thing. It does happen faster during certain parts of the cell's life.
Yes.
But for example, I believe a P42A is rated at like 500 charge cycles at 80% capacity. So after 500 cycles, you should expect to get around 80% of your original battery life, right? So when you are 200 cycles in, let's say we're at 90% of our life, and one of your cells goes out. When you replace that group with brand new cells, now what's interesting now is 11 of those groups have a 90% life and or 90% capacity, and now one group has 100% capacity. Well, the issue there is you're going to have a lot of balancing problems at this point. So I suppose, I don't know for sure how it works in practice because, again, we refuse to do it. We won't do it for our customers.
No.
I guess if your other cells were that's correct because sorry, I thought I had something, but no. The issue mostly is we bypass our batteries for discharge. We don't use a BMS. So when we do that,
we do not discharge through the BMS.
We do not discharge the BMS. We use a BMS for charge only. The reason we do that is because that is a leading cause of cutouts, is when you exceed the BMS's limitations, it just shuts your battery off.
Most of them are only 20 amps, 30 amps.
Yeah. So we don't use BMS's for discharge at all. We only use them for charging. So the issue with that is, how do we keep our battery from over discharging? Well, we set that with our VESC, right? Or our ESC at a certain voltage, we stop the battery. When you have issues with balancing issues, the VESC only can see what the entire pack is. If you've got 11 cells that are at 4.2 and you've got one at 2.5, it's going to continue to drain until that total pack is at that cutoff voltage. Meaning now you've got 11 cells at 3.6 or 3.3 or whatever you're at, or 2.8, and you've got one at 0. Or vice versa, you've got one that's way higher voltage than all the rest, and now you're pushing all 11 a little lower than you anticipated because that extra one is adding to your total pack voltage.
And now over time, you've just created a monster.
You've created a vicious cycle that will literally continue to work the other cells harder than they need to be.
So in theory, can you do this for a couple days? Yes. If you're in a snag, you could in theory do it, but we do not recommend it. We don't want to see
within the first week, 2 weeks, depending on writing and all these little details, but it's just
bad practice, bro. It's bad
poker. When can you do it? Really, we would say
don't.
Never.
But
don't. I guess if it happened in a freak thing in the first couple weeks of battery ownership or the first 24 cycles, you'd probably be fine, honestly.
Okay, yeah, you could probably get away with it.
But like the odds of you needing to do that in the first couple weeks or the first couple dozen charge cycles are slim to none.
Mm-hmm.
The odds of one going to 0 in that so early, so rare.
And let's be real, there is battery failure, right?
Sure.
Batteries do also fail, and when you've got them in P groups, when a single cell goes down, guess what? It's taking
they all go down with it.
So it's just it's kind of this cycle that you get into. So of course we never want to see a cell go bad. Is there any way for us to ever know a cell is going to go bad? No. I don't think so. You have to use it. So it happens.
Yeah,
it's the one out of every 10,000 cells. There it is.
There we go, guys. You might get it's been a while since we've had that one.
Yeah.
All right. What do they win for that one?
They get a discount code.
We'll do check the description in the. We'll put one in the description. We'll put a coupon code. I don't know what it's going to be.
Yep.
I don't know what it's going to be for.
God damn it,
so just go to the description. Right. It'll and we'll give you something if you buy something. But so that's pretty much like we just don't recommend changing P groups individually.
Yeah, don't do it. It's bad poker.
Well, in some batteries, like you can't. Like it's just not. Depending on how it's built, like some of these are so welded together, it would be so hazardous to do it. And that's another reason why we don't do it, because it's just dangerous to even
there are battery repair companies, and there are folks out there that are more than willing to do things like this. Our standpoint is just, with our business, we're just not doing it. It's too big of a liability. It's too big of a risk. Yep. So
at this point, if you had a cell group go to 0 early on, we would just replace your entire pack. It's not worth it to us to screw around with it any more than that.
And if you think about it, that's a bigger hit on us, right? I mean, we have a 100-day warranty. We feel that if something is going to happen to that battery,
it's going to happen in that first 100 days.
As long as it's not sitting on your shelf and you're using the thing, it's going to happen quick. It's not going to be one of those things 5 years down the road, a P group goes bad. Like, all right, man, you got 5 years out of it. Yeah. That's going to happen.
Eventually, with age, a P group will go down.
But in a case that
will happen.
I'm
a
happy with 3
manufacturer
years.
type defect, that's where it comes in. So, and then when that happens, we look at it and we say, damn.
Yep.
Well, guess what? He gets a new battery.
Yeah. Well, and the time thing is silly. We can't say, a battery should last 2 years. It should last 3 years. It should last 1 year.
I'm just happy as long as I see 3 years. Anything after that,
It's how often do you ride and charge it?
Right.
If you deplete your battery twice a day for 2 years straight, it's not going to last you 2 years.
It's not. No, you're doing double damage for sure.
If you do a battery every other day, one time, it'll last you 2 years. Sure. Like, it's just a matter of how many cycles you put on it. So it's just an interesting topic. But
well, and we now have our cycle tester.
Yes, we do. I'm still working on that. I have to replace a component that we blew up already
on testing. Almost lit the bench on fire, dude. It was fun.
It was a good time, but it's fine. But I think is
that our show, dude?
That's all I got, guys. We're at an hour. I had one more Esk8 history thing we will get to next week.
Oh yes, that's gonna be a fun one.
But
can we drop like a hint about it, dude? Just like
it's just generally like where mountain boarding.
Yeah, what is mountain boarding? Where is it? Where did it come from? Like. Yep. We're gonna do a deep dive into it.
Yeah,
and it's like regular mountain boarding, and then how we connect it with Esk8, of course.
Right. How it exactly. So keep an eye on social media. We will be posting our new trucks when they're for sale. Although they should be launching
Black Friday.
Black Friday, I think, is when we'll go out. They could be launched earlier, I suppose, but at the latest we'll launch on Black Friday. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sitting down for the hour, because it was a full hour. We had a lot to talk about.
Yes, we had a good show, dude.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Adios,
everybody.
See ya.